Hello again, everybody. It's Takedown. Scott Casper with you. We cover the sport of wrestling coast to coast, border to border. We head to West Virginia. Wheeling Jesuit University head coach Sean Doyle joins us for a recap on this young program. Sean, welcome back. How's it going at Wheeling Jesuit?
It's going fantastic, Scott. Thanks for having us back on.
I know you're a busy guy and got a lot of work in front of you, but you just celebrated a wonderful first season last weekend with your first ever banquet. How successful was it?
It was a great day. We kind of kicked off our first golf event that we plan to have yearly. Maybe turn into an alumni event in 4 or 5 years when we start graduating some guys. We had 105 people at our first ever banquet. Lots of friends of the program, administration, all of our wrestlers and parents there. So just a fantastic way to celebrate a really, really great first year.
Let's talk about the commitments to next year's class. How many and what kind of roster will you have when it's all over? Do you think?
Well, we're looking to we're approaching probably a roster of 40 to 45 right now. We finished this first year with 24 guys. We've brought right now 20 have committed to next year's class with us trying to get a couple more. It's funny, and obviously common sense would tell you once you're established and doing some great things that you would be able to attract even more guys. This class is very strong. A lot of great wrestlers out of Ohio, West Virginia, Virginia, Pennsylvania. We have a wonderful market, obviously, to recruit from, and we're getting a lot of very good kids. So it's an exciting time.
You won your first ever tournament as a team last year, and that had to have been a pretty big hump to get over, and one I'm sure you were excited about.
Yeah, it was a memorable day for us. We had actually wrestled our rival West Liberty a week prior in front of a big venue, a high school event, and they beat us. They're an established program that does well. And the following week was the first ever West Virginia Invitational with all the programs in West Virginia, aside from WVU, who sent some red shirts down. But we won by a half a point. Just an awesome day. Obviously, being a first-year program, you try to set your goals high and realistic at the same point. But it was a great day and really something to build off of for us.
Sean Doyle, our guest, the head coach, Wheeling Jesuit University, and the news in West Virginia just keeps on getting better. They have been around for about a year now. Very short history, but two individuals going into the top 10. And that's quite an accomplishment, coach, and with really less than a year at that point under your belt.
Yeah, well, Scott, we're working hard every day right now. We have kids committed to working here locally and training through the summer. We are going to have some individuals wrestling this weekend in Akron at the FILA cadet event or in junior event. So it's just something we're trying to establish a culture where our guys expect to achieve excellence in and out of the classroom, on the mat, in the community. And it's something that, as a first-year program, we have an opportunity to really set the foundation for where we want to go. And again, I stressed early in the year, this group of young men that went through it the first time and made this commitment have a lot of responsibility because, they're the ones building this. So it's been fun, it's been challenging, and, we're heading into our first off season right now.
Coach, one of the hardest things a young man can do is be a wrestler and a freshman. 21 of your 24 are just that.
Right.
A 2.8 GPA ain't bad, but I know that'll improve over time as your athletes improve and mature. That bell
Right.
curve will most likely change as well. What can you tell us about the academic prowess of your team now and in the future?
Well, when you choose a school like Wheeling Jesuit, we're a private institution. The academic rigor is very challenging. And you know how it is. Not only as you go into your freshman year of college, school is always much more difficult than what you were facing in high school. So that's a hurdle. obviously they're transitioning socially. They're trying to transition academically. Wrestling's much more difficult and demanding. And I'm certain that as our guys settle in here, that GPA will rise. Our goals are much higher than that, but a 2.8, which is, a B minus average at an institution like Wheeling Jesuit with all freshmen, I was pretty happy with that. And again, our goals are higher than that, but it's a good starting point.
I always found it amazing, Sean, that the senior year in high school does little to prep you for your collegiate years. And point in fact, it's kind of a cleanup process as you clean up
Right.
loose ends, and you take it easy instead of getting ready for what lies ahead. We're talking with Sean Doyle. He's the head coach of Wheeling Jesuit in West Virginia. Your team recorded something that I'm absolutely I don't know if proud is the right word. I think you all can be proud, but I'm exceedingly happy that this is a point of interest for you and your staff and your athletes. 460 hours of community service. Why is it important to Wheeling Jesuit?
Well, again, so we're a new program in the area. My goal is to, again, brand our program and market our program so that we're filling a gym full of crazy fans that enjoy wrestling. And I really stress to our guys that part of that process is going to be that the people in our community understand that we care about Wheeling as well. Early on in September, our guys spent every weekend helping run a fundraiser or some form of a community service event. Our mission is very clear, and that's that our guys are going to be leader in the classroom, in the community, in the workplace, and on the wrestling mat. And again, as we try to attract young men to come here and get parents to believe in what we're doing, I think if you know that you're sending your son to a university where that's going to be a priority, that we're going to have an opportunity to really attract some wonderful young men. And again, parents are going to have confidence that they're sending them to the right place.
So the community is responding to, and I know that that's an important part of what makes you a head coach as well, is the fact that you are involved and very, very visible. You're working hard
Right.
to market the program. I know that your Twitter followers are incredible, the number of Twitter followers you have, Facebook likes, Instagram followers, that type of thing. Talk to me about the Cardinal culture on social media. How important is that?
It's a top priority for us, absolutely, in today's world. And again, I've been fortunate enough to have Coach Cole as a mentor to me, and obviously he does it as good as anybody in terms of marketing a program. But when I took this job, through Coit Cooper and the NWCA with Mike Moyer and John Licata and those guys, we put a huge priority on marketing appropriately. The program, the NWCA and Coit Cooper just recommended us or kind of nominated us as a finalist for top newcomer in terms of marketing our program. So we were extremely happy to get that nomination and recognition as well. And again, we did a great job filling our gym up this year with fans, and we're going to keep doing that because we're working hard, in those areas.
And that's the type of thing that you need to do, and the athletic department, I'm sure, is standing up and taking notice. Are the other sports?
Yeah, I think it's awesome. We've spent a year on this campus, and I tell our guys all the time that, again, they have an opportunity to create a culture at Wheeling Jesuit that gets embraced. And that's something we use the word embrace it, the Cardinal culture. And it's funny, as our social media presence, hit the ground running, it definitely seemed to catch on in the other sports here, the other programs and departments on campus. Social media, at least to me, seemed like it really caught a lot of momentum, and I think we were a large part of that. I think our us getting up at 5:30 a.m. and doing workouts in the fall, again, everything you do becomes contagious, and I think our programs made a great impact on campus.
Coach Cole speaks highly of you, as does Kyle Dake and guys like. Matter of fact, you have Kyle Dake coming to your very first camp ever, and I understand you've got 140 or more registrants already, with 4 weeks left to register.
That's right. We're again just another very fortunate that Kyle was able to fit us into his schedule. He was actually planning on competing for the world team, right around the same time as our camp, but he was finding time to get here. As a former alum, Kyle reached out and said he would come down and do that. And obviously, when we're doing our inaugural camp, it would be difficult to attract a large number of people just because we're hosting a wrestling camp. There's camps like Ohio State, Penn State, Kent State, all here close by. So having Kyle allowed us to draw a huge market, and I think we'll probably approach 200 kids for our first ever camp.
Wow.
Harry Lester, an Olympian that's looking to challenge again, will be here, and Jeff Bedard, who runs the Compound Wrestling Club out of Atlanta, Georgia. It's going to be a great week coming up.
All right, coming up as far as scheduling goes, and by the way, best of luck to you on your camp. Those are difficult to populate, but once you get going, man, that wheel should never stop. And
that's right.
I don't know if I could have any better guys coming than Kyle Dake and Harry Lester. Good job out of you.
Thanks.
Virginia Duels, you're going to be there, but you're also going to be competing at the Grapple at the Garden event in December at Madison Square Garden. My pleasure at that point will be to introduce you and your team. But
we look forward to it.
It's a huge event, isn't it?
Yeah, we're through the roof excited about that. One of the most famous sporting venues in the world, to be able to tell our guys, 18, 19, 20-year-olds that you're going to get to compete in that venue. Myself as a coach and growing up being a huge sports fan, I can't put into words how excited we are about that event. And again, we feel fortunate and blessed to be part of that and look forward to it. And the Virginia Duels, it's funny, I being at Cornell, we went to the Virginia Duels. When I graduated and I started coaching, I took our high school program to the Virginia Duels, and now having the opportunity to coach, a collegiate program. I love the event. There's tons of energy around it. You get, the best wrestling at every level, high school, Division I, Division II, NAIA. I think it's obviously got a great tradition. It's a well-run event.
I know that as you progress, the university's commitment to you and to the program is only growing, and part of that is recently they approved to expand your wrestling room, and it's quite an expansion, Coach.
Yeah, last year when we added the program, we went into a nice room, about 50 by 50 were the dimensions. The room is a great facility for our guys right now, and it's modern. It looks good. It's got a lot of natural lighting, so guys love the room. But our roster's expanded to 40 plus. The school understands that we're serious about becoming a top-notch program. And just here in the last 4 weeks, we were given the go-ahead to start a small fundraising campaign, and the room's going to be over 100 feet by 50, giving us 2 plus, probably close to 3 mats long by 50 wide. So we'll have one of the best rooms in the country at any level. And again, it allows us to bring the highest end kids and let them know that we mean business and that, we're going to contend for a national title sooner than later.
Well, you're just one of the many guys that have gone through that Cornell program, and I know that Coach Cole is awfully proud of guys like you that can continue that which he learned and is now passing on. But now they're looking at you. They're looking at you, Sean, as an example of what our young coaches out there and the new programs and even established programs can do. I know that you guys put together a highlight, end of season highlight video that is really speaks well, I think, to what you've been able to accomplish there. Who shot that for you? Who produced it for you?
I do. I give a lot of credit because we've gotten a lot of things done this year. I did that. Our banquet was really something that I put a lot of time into, and I wanted to highlight that video shows everything, our community service involvement and our successes on the mat. And I took a lot of pride in creating something there that would leave a lasting memory for these guys, because they made a major commitment to come to a school that when I took them on their recruiting trips, they didn't have a wrestling room. They had nobody on the team to know who their drill partners were going to be. And so I feel like I owed it to them to give them something that they would always be able to remember as they kind of took on a new endeavor. And obviously we are moving in a great direction, and it's to the credit of those guys and their families that made a commitment to come to Wheeling Jesuit.
Sean, it's always good to talk to you. Congratulations on what could have been, by the way, if you hadn't have had to cancel that last duel,
That's,
it could have been a 500 year.
yes, it could have been. We came into the tail end of the year knowing that we had some tough challenges ahead, and we had a lot of. We could have ended 500, but we were happy. We lost a couple very narrow matches, and now we have a bar set, and obviously we're going to strive to be above that moving forward.
Well, it couldn't happen to a nicer guy in you and a great group of kids that are there with their heart on their sleeves. By the way, doing what you asked them to do, recording 460 plus hours of community service, an average GPA of 2.8. That could go up once grades are posted, but I'll tell you what. Nice job by you, the kids, and I'm looking forward to seeing those that'll be coming into the program as you guys continue to grow. Fans, you can find them on Facebook. It's easy enough to do. Just type in Walsh Jesuit, Wheeling Jesuit. Even I make
God, we
yeah,
did.
right?
We actually have a Walsh Jesuit grad coming next
Do
year
you
too,
really?
so that's all right. You can give them some press
I'll give them
too.
a little love. All right, Wheeling Jesuit University. Also, WJU Wrestling on Twitter, so it's at WJU Wrestling. And again, Wheeling Jesuit Wrestling on Facebook. Sean, anything in closing before I let you go?
Not much, Scott. Just thank you for everything you do for wrestling. Obviously, as a young program, you help expose us, and we're excited about what's going on, and look forward to working with you in the future. Also,
Well, Sean,
thank you.
it's always a pleasure, my brother. I appreciate the good work you put in. I don't think there's anybody in the country putting in more hours into their job than you are, and it's evident and it shows. We appreciate it. The kids deserve nothing less than the best, and that's what they've gotten. Sean Doyle. Sean, always a fan, brother. Thank you very much for the time today.
Thanks, Scott. Have a good week.
You bet. For all of us at Takedown, he's Sean Doyle. I'm Scott Casper, and thanks for watching.